Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. Before we get started today, we got an email this week that we want to address. If you're in the Discord, you've already seen it, and we've started having a discussion about it. But we did receive an email with some negative feedback. First thing I want to say is to be very clear, we appreciate the feedback. We want people to tell us about ourselves all the time. So positive, negative, like please send us feedback. We are incredibly thankful to get it. This person wrote in that they think it is toxic masculinity because Logan and Jordan talk over me often. I want to kind of give my opinion on that. Again, thankful for you bringing that to our attention. But I have two real big call outs for this. One, the dynamic is very important to this. We are not three people that play Flesh and Blood that came together and make a podcast. I'm married to Jordan. Jordan's known Logan longer than he's known me. And I've known Logan for 5 or 6 years at this point. So this isn't a group of three people that, came together to do this thing. We have been together far long before this. And I think that's very important. None of us are ever malicious to each other. Jordan is my best friend. Logan is a great person. There is no ill intent with anybody here on the podcast. The other big thing is toxic masculinity is a problem. It is a problem in this community as well. It is not a problem on this podcast. I have ran into multiple instances, both in Flesh and Blood, in other games, in everyday life. But this is a safe space for me and hopefully for everybody that listens. So again, thank you for the feedback. We definitely appreciate it so we can sit down and reevaluate. But just from my perspective, that is not a problem we're dealing with here. And with that, we're going to go ahead and go into the show as normal. So Logan, we'll start with you. What did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
Somebody called me a good fucking person on a podcast. I don't know what to do with that.
It'll never happen again. Don't worry.
We've jumped the shark.
Please don't let that get out. Like, that is so fucking hard to live up to. Just don't put that on me. Christ. Flesh and Blood. What did I do? Oh, we just had Blitz Armory. So it became meme night for most people. I played Shiana Money Pile because I like to shuffle about $5,000 in cards in a 40 card deck. And also now that I have the sleeves from Vegas, I can use an $80 box of sleeves. So now it's even more expensive because the sleeves are expensive. So we did that. I went 1-2, but it was actually semi-competitive, and I was kind of put off by that. I might have to make some changes. However, playing Life of the Party by discarding Crazy Brews,
The dream.
holy fuck, is it fun? It's oh shit, how much is that? A lot. This is for me, not for you. And then also just bingoing for 6 every now and again off of a captain's call, and they're just cool. That sucks. So I did that, and then I hadn't seen my family, my extended or even my mother and my brother for about 6 months, just because lives are busy. And Holly, my wife, had pointed out to me, we haven't seen your mom in a while. I'm it's been a month. And she's it's been 6. I'm no, it has. Fuck. Yep. That's right. So went up, got to hang out with my brother and my nephew and my nephew and his wife, my brother and his wife, my nieces, saw my grandmother, my mother. It was a good time. I had fun with that. But while I was gone, an armory, a CC armory, which is very rare in the Des Moines area, was held with enhanced prizing. It was won. A deck went 4-0, piloted by an Iowan, Josh Rath. And the deck was Azalea. He went 4-0 and won an armory in a room full of fives with stubbies, because they're not banned yet. We'll talk about that later. With Azalea.
I think you said
apparently,
Azalea. Did you mean Azalea or did you?
I know I definitely meant Azalea because apparently he was red in the ledgering motherfuckers on the regular, just
Yeah.
like
That and what was the other? I saw Dagan's tweet about it. There was another card that was playing, and I was like, I don't know that I've ever even seen that card before.
because it's an Azalea card.
Well, yes.
I think it's Knock the Death Whistle is the other one.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
what the fuck? I've got a cold full of Corsham on the line here that she can't get any living legend points.
Well,
maybe.
Well,
it's gonna be gone here soon.
you done goofed?
Maybe. Oh, I actually don't care. This card, I just yeet this into a fucking fire and I wouldn't care. But it's and also it is now officially a donation from Flesh and Pod to the bounty. I did change it to be from us because
this feels like when your more responsible sibling gets your parents a gift for Christmas and you're like, they sign the card for both of you.
Yeah.
This is exactly my sister buys my parents Christmas gifts and it'll be like, I'm just as excited as my mom and dad when they open it because I'm like, oh, we got you a grill. Yeah, that's fucking cool. So that's what this is like to me. It's like, oh yeah, we did donate a Corsham.
So Flesh and Pod is going to buy somebody a smoker is what this is. Although a cold full of Corsham is worth way less than a smoker. It's like $150.
They're low, right? Like,
yeah, I think they're actually the lowest fabled. Pretty sure they are. It's kind of just unplayable trash in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
And outside of that one person at the 10K in Mansfield who had it in his Briar deck and won the event with Corsham in the 70 or the 80 card deck. How often he actually played it is kind of irrelevant. It had a spot in the list. I don't think he played it very often.
So I will say that there's cold foils are 169 and then the regulars are 139. So they're pretty even. You might as well spend the $30 to get the cold foil. Yeah. At that point. But anyway, sorry.
And I think that was all of Flesh and Blood around here for the week. We actually did some TTS testing. Was that was this week, right? We were playing on Monday
and Dagan,
and Dagan and John Patty and I think Sam popped in for a bit, and then your brother-in-law popped in for a little bit.
Yeah, he was in there for like 10 seconds, and then his microphone wouldn't work or something. But yeah,
some number of seconds. But yeah, that was a good time. So we had fun watching Fi versus Bravo, which Jordan can talk about that. And so yeah, I mean, it was a pretty chill week in Flesh and Blood for me, but it was still did stuff. Jordan, go right ahead.
Yeah, no, it was well, it's funny because I was gonna say same in that I did a couple of events and some testing, but what is a chill week in Flesh and Blood for you is a much more involved week for Flesh and Blood for me, based on volume of events or whatever. I did an in-person testing night with some buddies, and then we tested on a tabletop simulator with Dagan. I played Bravo while he wanted to test the Fry Bravo matchup. And I beat Dagan White 2-0 before he changed the deck. And well, that's my highlight. I can pack it in. You will see my my jersey in Canton. And that was pretty fun because it was fun to work with Dagan and like listen to him about deck building and then like decisions, because you and I would like decide on a decision together, do it, and then he would see like the rest of our hand because like Bravo plays their whole hand out like either blocking or like attacking each turn, right? And he's like, yeah, that's not right, like let's go back and do this. And so that was a really fun learning experience to like, you know, just work with Dagan on stuff. And it's a resource that I should avail myself of more. Because Dagan will play with you literally whenever you want to play. So I need to do that. But then I played at Armory on Friday. I went 1-2. I was a little frustrated at myself. I built an Icelander deck, and I think it was still the best deck to have built. I lost to a Harrison, who's playing Fi. Harrison's a local Columbus guy, likes the show. He says he listens to us when he runs. So like, Harrison, you're allowed to just get in your car.
Yeah, dude.
Like just stop, pull out your phone that you're listening to this on, and open the Uber.com app, and then get a ride home. And then I lost a match against Dromai that was just very winnable, and I'm like, and I'm pretty like frustrated at the way that I like played that one. Made some bad decisions in like not killing Aether Ashwings. Kind of was trying to hedge on them not having like the requisite amount of blues to like block. They were at 1 for like 4 turns, and like I was like, well, they're not going to like have 2 blues every turn for the next 4 turns, so I won't kill the Aether Ashwings, which was foolish. I think I should have just been killing the Aether Ashwings and
pop it at least so the math comes down to they don't have enough AB, I guess.
Yeah, right.
So,
Like get them down because they had the stilettos, so like 2 Aether Ashwings is enough. I didn't side in Singes either, which was just like I think I was just kind of into like let's sit down and play mode and wasn't thinking about sideboarding. I wouldn't have made that decision at a premier event. Like I don't think I'd make that mistake.
This was CC or draft?
No, this was sealed. Yeah.
Oh, sealed. Okay.
Yeah.
Sealed. Sorry, you wondering why I have Singes to begin with? Yeah. No, yeah, this was sealed, and I wouldn't have made like bad sideboarding decisions at a premier event. It was just kind of just like a play the armory and just get through the match kind of thing. But otherwise, it was fun. There was a light news week in Flesh and Blood, so I'm not super concerned about my content leap this coming up week. But
seems like we get a lot of the cool shit on those weeks, though, right?
Yes, that is definitely true. Like they are very good about like here's a big piece of news. And then the smaller weeks, there's like a lot of smaller 10 to 15 minute topics to talk about.
It was good to see my name. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to say it was good. I forgot to mention. Sorry to talk over you, Jordan. That's okay. But I was actually thrilled to see my name was actually on the list of qualified for nationals competitors when that came out.
Congratulations.
Then found out that I would have qualified on XP. I actually would have made that because they increased the player cap for the US to 600. Because before they factored in the experienced people, they were at the 500 cap. They had 500 individually qualified people already.
So that's interesting. Is it just they're backfilling the cap from XP people, like regardless of what that number is? Like if only 450 people had qualified via an event, they would have backfilled to 600.
Yes, but I think they would have. I think they would have backfilled to 500 or 550. Basically,
the original cap was
plus 100. Yeah, like basically, whatever the unique qualified players were through events, plus 100, whatever that number was going to be.
Okay.
So yeah, they ended up with 500 uniquely qualified people through events, and so they increased the cap to 600 to bring the top 100 not already qualified people. So some people got in that I saw. Yep, some people got in that I saw. So our friend Pat Smashgood will be joining me at nationals. Then some of our extended friends and family also made it. Like Elaine got it, or Elaine won or top 4 an event. Tommy top 4 an event. Mara did, like Dalen did, and they are both uniquely responsible for Prism not living legending
out. Which we will definitely talk about too. Abby, tell us about your week in Flesh and Blood.
So I went to the Armory on Friday night that Jordan did, the sealed event. I played 5 because I had to, so that indicates how good my deck was. I went 1 and 2. First game I played a Dramai and just did my thing. Game 2 I played against Icelander. It was not close at all. Was basically just behind from turn 1. And then third round, I played a mirror, went first. We were both down to 1, and it was just who could get it through first, and it was not me. And then we dropped so that we could go get food because I was getting hungry. But more excitedly, and I'll have more to talk about it next week, but we have a skirmish in Columbus a week from today on Sunday, and my brother and his friend are coming down for it. So I'm very excited because it'll be their first, like, formal event. So I'm very pumped for that. So more to come on that next week, but
skirmish on a Sunday.
Saturday. It is Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Saturday.
Yeah. I didn't go to an open play night. That's what I did. I played Flesh and Blood on TTS with her brother and his best friend.
Oh, cool.
I was like the eye in the sky while they were both playing. And they're both like established gamers. Like her brother-in-law has played Magic before. His friend has played Warhammer, War Machine, all the miniature games competitively before. So, we're not starting with like, this is a card game, which is nice. But it is kind of fun because there still is a very big like new player like curve. So answering a lot of questions. the funny story I like to tell is her brother and I are both the same people in terms of like we don't like to like communicate, or like we're bad about reaching out and like maintaining contacts with more than like 3 people at a time. And so our text message history up until this point has been happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And it is literally the same day on the same time, which is basically when our wives remind us that it's the other's birthday. And so
Jesus.
now it's, hey, what deck is really good against Oldhim? I hate losing to Oldhim. Hey, what do you think about this budget Oldhim list? Hey, here's a list of cards. Do you have these? So it's much more fun. It's much more fun now. But it was really funny because like whenever we go up to visit them, they're from the Toledo area. Whenever we go to visit them, we literally joke every time about like, all right, hey, I'll talk to you in April, which is when our birthdays are.
Yeah.
So like, it's pretty funny. But no, they're going to be there, so I'm excited. And we have a very good local group. And I'm sure like Des Moines sounds like it would be similar about like new players to jump in basically anything below a pro quest and like feel welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. We're going to get in a draft with some people afterwards on Saturday because they want to draft it as well. So
yeah, I mean that's actually a good draft experience. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yep.
But anyway, I didn't mean to walk back on the.
Yeah. I like walking back. It feels good. I mean, it works a different part of the calves.
That's right. I'm glad to see that you're back to your lying. You got so off on telling the truth for so long, and then you had to...
I'm back to lying.
What the fuck just happened?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. Did everybody forget how long Jordan's been playing Flesh and Blood and that whole lie?
I mean, that's only been like he started in. Was it 18? It was in the antebellum South, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
like
he said he did a thing, and then he went back and was like, "Oh no, I was wrong. That's actually what I did."
We were the first company to like employ the recently freed slaves that Abraham Lincoln freed. That was what we did. It was a big deal.
All right.
Yeah. You were. I mean, it was. Yeah. That sounds like what I read.
But you would have read that in your history book.
No, you definitely wouldn't read anything about
not in the Texas made history books.
Yeah, not in the Texas made history books. Not a chance in fucking hell. Like we are, any of our friends that are not in the U.S. U.S. history taught in elementary schools is basically not U.S. history. It is U.S. fantasy, and it is so when you hear us talking about the way that history is taught in this country, we are just referencing the fact that the United States makes United States fan fiction to discuss their history to children and to begin the indoctrination process. And I probably just wound up on an FBI watch list again.
Yeah, there's a plantation in Nashville, Tennessee that was like a wine making place, and so they've since turned it into like a wine making place. So when we went down there for like our first or second anniversary, we went and toured this winery, and you could tour the old like plantation grounds and like see like, because they were big on horse racing at this particular plantation, like a horse that had fathered like the lineage of like Seabiscuit was from this plantation. Right? But it was very much that like whitewashed version of history where like the slaves part of the thing was called the workers' quarters.
Jesus.
And like the tour guide was like, yeah, so here we have the workers' quarters, and we're like, wait, like workers? Like they were paid? She's like, well, no.
Well, no.
What do you want from me? Some decency, some honesty would be nice, but
this is like WWE. They're banned words.
Exactly. But it was very much that like this is the U.S. to a T.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
It's a nightmare over here. Please help.
News of the week. We have a new BS announcement. So say goodbye to Stubbies, which again didn't know what that card was when the first restriction or suspension came out for Blitz. 2 months ago? Was it 2 months ago?
Yeah, give or take.
And it has already made it onto the CC.
The card was so not well known that people didn't know there was an extra ers at the end of it. They just thought it was Stubby Hammer, and it's Stubby Hammerers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how innocuous this little fucking card was until it was like, hold on, how many chain links? Fuck. Well, that's bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of interesting that we never caught on to this in like a chain context, because this doesn't care about the chain, right? This just cares about this
The turn. Yep.
So like I don't know how like chain never saw this.
So you have to remember that original chain did not deal most of its damage off of attacks. It dealt it off of Seeds of Agony.
Sure. So I guess that's a new invention than the most recent version of chain.
Yeah, where they kind of just went more wide with actual attacks. But the problem in like original chain was that Seeds was just it was just fucking busted.
You played 9 copies and
yeah, it played a rainbow, and you waited until you had a turn where you play 3 or more out of the banish zone in one turn, and it became impossible to not just destroy somebody. So yeah, I think that's why Hammerers really wasn't played there. Plus, there's a lot of 4-power attacks in with like Ghostly Visit and some of the other cards.
Yeah. A lot of the shadow ones were just 4. You're right.
Yeah. So I think that's more the point. With Hammerers not being quite the thing until Fi and just all the bullshit that Fi gets up to. What do you think about the change? What do you think about this reaction being this fast?
You know, I typically do not like emergency bannings, and this does not feel like a normally scheduled one. This wasn't on the list, right? Like
this is not.
If they're gonna do a check every month, I'm okay with that. Hey, it's the second beer of the show.
It's not a beer. We're on high noon today, baby.
Oh, that's right. It's a second.
It is. We are. This Flesh and Pod is now sponsored by High Noon, which is a vodka-based. I gotta try. I gotta work on that. Which is a vodka-based seltzer with 0 calories or very low amounts of calories and no carbs. It's only 4.5 ABV. So it takes a while to get tanked off of them, but they're kind of hangover proof. So that's also nice. But I felt like being a little lighter today. They're 100 calories. And
those are good. That's clean.
Free. Yeah, it's a very easy to drink. And then like the pineapple ones are just fucking gas. But they only put the pineapple ones in their multi-packs because they're dicks. So I have to buy like mango, passion fruit, watermelon, and pineapple. Which of these, like the worst is passion fruit, which is totally drinkable. But
really?
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I guess grapefruit would have been the worst.
There's no grapefruit, passion fruit.
Oh, I thought you said grapefruit and passion fruit.
Passion fruit, mango, pineapple, watermelon.
Okay.
If you remember, and I'm old, so I might just get fucking bodied on this one too, but there used to be this line of waters called Clearly Canadian.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. They drink exactly like Clearly Canadians.
Really? I get one like every other week. It's like my treat from the grocery store, and I get one, typically peach.
Yeah, we can't get Clearly Canadian here at all anymore. It's just gone. But yes, there are peach high noons if you're into that. So they do remind me of drinking Clearly Canadian, which I drank when I was younger.
Well, you can get some of those when you come down here.
Do they have strawberry?
Yes.
Because I drank the fuck out of strawberry Clearly
They
Canadian.
have strawberry,
in the glass bottles?
Blackberry, peach, and I think grape, but I don't get that one.
Well, you know what they also sell at Kroger? Actually, they don't sell Flesh and Blood, but they don't
like
sell
basically anything
Stubby
in
Hammerers either, because those are banned.
Again, like I think I'm with you on that one, Jordan. Where it's I almost feel like this is too reactionary.
Yes, completely agree.
But the other part of me is I have seen this deck operate with Stubby Hammerers and just chunk out these 40+ damage turns.
Yeah,
and it's like maybe this is just the right tack to take to make it not stale in Lille.
Yeah, this feels like we want to make the Pro Tour interesting ban, which I'm okay with. The pro players we follow on Twitter and get to regularly interface with, some of them were concluding that they were done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that hey, the decks are solved. You play Prism to beat Bravo, you play Bravo to beat Fi, you play Fi to beat Prism, and like you play Fi to beat the field. So like, if that's the case, I guess I'm okay with it. But it's, as always, the line of reasoning in these articles is a little annoying. Like, Road to National season demonstrated a very healthy metagame with a diverse top 8 representation in tournament wins. That being said, we're going to ban this bitch.
Well, only like a third, it seemed like, of the Road to National events were CC. And the vast majority of them, from what I understood, were draft. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But to me, I thought...
they have a data table of top 8's wins and top 8 to win conversion for the heroes. 5, for example, top 8 at 177 tournaments, which was the most of all of them, but it did not have the highest top 8 to win conversion. It only won 12% of the tournaments that it top 8'd.
So hold on, does it have the number of events it won?
Yeah, 5 won 21 tournaments.
I think this is strictly classic constructed tournaments.
Yes, but if you total up the number of classic constructeds wins for across all the decks.
Oh yeah, I can just do that real quick. Yes,
sorry. if you do that, it'll tell us how many CC RTNs there were. So and now because I think there were 150 RTN events in the US.
There were 163 represented on this chart.
Okay, and that's worldwide.
That's worldwide. So and of them, 5 won 21. So 21 divided by 163. It won. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, 12%. Yeah. 12%. But Azalea won 0.
I can give you the ones that won less than 5 if that would help with whatever you're thinking about.
No. It's more of the who won more than 10.
Oh, okay. Oldham won 12.
Okay.
Lexi won 13. Briar 121, Phi 121, Viscera 126, and Prism 130. Not enough.
I don't know. And granted, the early ones, like those Phi lists, probably weren't optimized like they have been now.
They do mention that like we are probably at peak optimization for Phi after Utrecht.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like their ultimate thesis is we know there were tools to beat Phi with Stubby Hammerers, but we don't think this is a positive gameplay experience, and we don't want to see this at the armory level, so we're going to make this change.
Yeah. I guess I have a better question. Would you have rather seen this or Belittle?
Probably this.
Okay.
Yeah, probably this, just because like Stubby Hammerers is some random ass common equipment that had been seen play over. Somebody in one of the Discords I'm in was like, dude, imagine like you own a Tiger Stripe Shuko and you don't sleeve it up because you have Stubby Hammerers, you know? And like, okay, that's enough for me to go like, if there's going to be a ban, that's fine. Like, I do think, is there a world where we eventually see the end of Belittle Minoism package? Probably. But mostly my thing is timing. Like either like, because they say the next BNR window is August 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do it every month after every season. After skirmish season, here's a blitz check. After PTQ season, here's a CC check. After the Pro Tour season, here's a CC check. Right? Like instead of doing these like very out of nowhere bans where like, you know, because I bet you if people knew there was a BNR announcement July 25th or whatever, people would have chilled and taken the couple of days off. You know.
Yeah, and just not run the best version out there and kind of try to keep a little bit of the tech under wraps type of thing.
Yeah, because I think now, I mean, like the deck still is good. Like don't get me wrong, they did a very, in my opinion, targeted ban if they're going to ban it.
Yeah, it's surgical.
Yeah, I don't know if I think that the ban was A, necessary, and B, if it is necessary, I have a problem with its timing. Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
I guess my question is just, so they did ahead of Pro Tour 1, they didn't want to do anything with Starvo, which is way bigger of an issue. And then right before Pro Tour 2, they're like, oh, hey, we're going to do this one now. I guess I don't understand why.
Right before Pro Tour 1, they suspended Autumn's Touch and...
Oh, was that? I thought that was after.
They did a very similar thing here. Yeah.
Yeah. They got surgical with it, but they wanted to see if Bravo would LL out or Starvo would LL out prior to it. And so they gave the chance for that to happen. And then it didn't. So they made a Band-Aid fix to make it so maybe it wouldn't be the best deck, and it didn't win. I think this is kind of the same. But they gave warning with that one a bit more. And I don't know.
We even complained then.
Yeah,
about
we did.
Lack of warning, and that's kind of crazy that they went backwards. I don't know. They say that, hey, in CC, a 5 to 7 damage Stubby Hammerers turn represents 15% of your life total, and we know this is a high rate compared to other equipment. Like, why is this getting? I mean, this was Monarch, so this is like before Fab 2.0, so like they get a break design wise, but like, so in the meantime, are we not going to see cards like this ever again that provide like a turn wide advantage? Because like, if we're worried about cards that give 5 to 7 damage, like, yikes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's 5 to 7 optimized damage, because you're playing a bunch of cards that are 0 for 3 go agains, specifically because they're 0 for 3 go agains. And this, in the most optimized versions, just gives those a bonus.
True.
And if you reprint the card as saying one, attacks with base power 1 or less, or 2 or less, and shave that down so that it isn't as optimal. Maybe that's more fair, because I think they just have to establish the baseline that 0 for 3 go again is with no other really anything is sort of evergreen potentially. And if that's the case, well, your design space gets cramped, because you can't really do that with a bunch of cards, because Stubby Hammerers exists as equipment that everybody can play. So
That's
maybe
fair.
it's that.
That's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, ultimately, like, as far as cards of the band go, commons from a set before when most people started playing is fine. I would rather them suspend that, like you said, than like another one.
Sure.
I don't even know, like a legendary, right, or a majestic. So,
or in this case, like, say, just take out Blossom of Spring and Spreading Flames, or ban Art of War. That would.
Oh, you know what? I'd be okay with a Blossom of Springs ban. Like, get the cards that are in those supplemental sets, that like the supplemental products that like you can't open. Get those out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that. Man, how cool would it be if, like, this is one thing that I think Magic does well, is like if they print something in a supplemental like product, like a commander pack or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's legal in Modern and Legacy, but it's not legal in class, like in Standard.
Not legal in Modern.
Oh, it's just legal in Legacy.
Just Legacy.
Gotcha. So I'd be okay with that in Flesh and Blood. Like, hey, the future league, or sorry, the Living Legend League.
LLL.
Yeah, the Living Legend format, you can use all the fucking random shit you want. But like, for the purposes of Classic Constructed, you have to keep yourself to things that you can open in a booster pack. And I'd be interested to see what they think about that. Maybe I'll try to get that question to James the next time he's on Flake Show.
Yeah, ship that one to J-Dubs.
Yeah. Because that'd have been a cool ban. Blossom Springs.
That'd been interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Art of War for 0 mana is a crime.
So is Belittle for 0 mana.
And then Prism is 2 points shy of hitting LL.
If you lost in the finals with a Prism deck, you're the problem.
Or if you're Dalen Mack, who conceded in the top 4 once he had his Nats invite, playing Prism, and didn't go for the W, you're the problem. Because now Prism is going to be at the Pro Tour. Gonna have Prism.
Pro Tour, gonna be at your nationals tournaments, probably.
Has a chance to not be, because
I don't see it winning the Pro Tour.
Well, isn't there at least one more battle hardened prior to?
Sorry, I don't see it winning a premier event that isn't a random nationals.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it because of the ubiquity of Phi. Now, this could change with the Stubby Hammerers ban, but because Phi is so accessible still, I don't see it. You'd have to dodge so many Phis, and I've played like a good amount of the Phi Prism matchup now. It's pretty smooth sailing for Phi, and like, I'm an idiot when it comes to playing against Prism, and like, it's pretty smooth sailing. Like, the only thing that really scares you are like 3 double auras turns back to back to back. Like, otherwise you're like, whatever, take 10 and I'll kill an aura.
Yeah, that's the fucked up part. Take 10 and I'll kill an aura.
Yeah, right. Oh, you have the things that give all my shit neg 1. Spectre doesn't care about that. Attack that thing for 0. It gets scared and runs away.
It gets scared and runs away.
It's really not what the flavor is, but
Jesus.
So we'll see. I would like it to go away before the batch of nationals, but it's going to be at the Pro Tour for sure.
Yep. Meh.
Yay.
Although I think isn't the isn't US Nationals one of the later nationals?
It is.
Okay.
It's after August 30th. So, like, who knows when the next BNR announcement will be after August 30th? It could be like, they could just be like September 2nd, pocket bans, you know, like, but who knows? Your face is troubling me.
Weird.
That's the point.
Oh.
Yeah.
For people on audio only, Logan was just blankly staring at me as I yelled pocket bans. So,
I don't know what to do with
that.
that.
Like, said something that sounded worse than like pocket ban. I was like, none of those words sound like banned words.
No,
like, I don't know.
No, except I mean banned, but
yeah, like words that like civilized people shouldn't say. You know,
like, we say those all the time.
True, but not when the little button in the top left says recording.
All
now.
right,
That's fair.
What's happening here? All right, so we have a store that was banned from running events. Logan, you want to speak on that for a minute?
There was some community drama, and the opening of our show says that we talk about community drama. And so we're going to not give this a ton of oxygen. If you really are curious about it, Flukenbox did a video on it, did a very long Facebook post on it. And we can link those in the show notes if we want to. Or you can pop in the Discord and talk about it if you want to. But the TLDR is that one of the people that is part of the Kitchen Table TCG podcast, their store, Compete Sports, was issued a ban from GEM from running events due to misrepresenting data in regards to print runs. And the key takeaway from the email, which George from Kitchen Table did publish on his website for everybody to read, was that they were using blatant, were spreading blatant mistruths. Then there was an interview where it was claimed that, you know, the guy was basically saying that he got banned for talking bad about Flesh and Blood. If that was the case, if people got banned from GEM or whatever for talking shit about Flesh and Blood, we would have been banned a while ago, along with a lot of other fucking people. It is not all sunshine and roses, nor does LSS want it to be all sunshine and roses, from my understanding. Saint, Flukenbox, Tall Timmy, everybody has had criticisms of the game and of LSS for some of the decision making, and in no way has LSS distanced themselves from them or issued any sort of citation or ban, because they do welcome that feedback, from all my understanding. But if you are blatantly spreading mistruths or incorrect data on purpose for any sort of advantage or to drive your prices or anything else, that's where they drew the line here. So if you want to go read up on it, feel free. But like I said, I don't think we want to give it any more oxygen than it deserves.
All right. We do have a big, exciting announcement, though.
We do.
October 22nd and 23rd, the Realm is putting on another Brawl. And it's stacked.
It's very high.
Let me tell you about it.
Mm.
So we will put the link in the show notes that will tell you all about it. But Saturday is a 10K classic constructed Brawl. Sunday, it is a 2K team sealed, which I had to explain to my brother what that was, and his response was, "That sounds super awesome." It is.
Because it is.
They'll also be doing a cosplay contest. There's going to be side events, on-demand drafts. I am super pumped. It's going to be in Columbus.
But wait, there's more.
And then there's going to be a speakeasy event. That's what I hear.
The rumor is that the event hall will be converted into a speakeasy. And you people are going to be able to buy tickets right now to get into the speakeasy in very limited numbers. And the speakeasy will have drafts, drinks, food, and other varieties of entertainment for the denizens of the speakeasy. Keith's a madman,
Yeah.
and we all know that
Yes.
at this point. And when we did the original Speakeasy, several people, myself included, told him you could probably have sold tickets. People would have bought them. And we have found out that if you put an idea in Keith's head, he is paralyzed from doing anything other than making that idea a reality. So now we're running it back. And this is an opportunity for all of you who did not have an opportunity before to be part of it. Now, that being said, there are two levels of Speakeasy ticket that can be purchased. There is the $100 Speakeasy ticket, which will get you into the event. You get the food of the event. The drink. You'll have to purchase your own drinks. There is a bar that will be operating to serve you your spirit, spirit of your pleasures. That still isn't right.
You could just probably read the ad read and do way better.
Fuck off, man.
I won't be toxic to Abby, but I will be toxic to you.
Yeah, well, that's great. You're a fuck. But for $250, you get an open bar, free food, and a VIP area for yourself and any the other VIPs, and also free drafts.
This was the best part of the original Speakeasy is we get down there and Keith's just like, hey, here's a few boxes, just draft these. Right. So like, we didn't know this when we got there. So yeah, if you get the VIP ticket, they're just going to be free drafts. And there's not like a cap as like amount of free drafts. I think it's like as long as there are product.
As long as people want to draft.
Yeah.
That paid to be in there to draft.
Yeah. Logan, what if someone was like, man, I would rather roll bones to see if I get into this VIP or this Speakeasy as opposed to pay for it. Well,
that's weird because there's a spate of content creators that are given tickets to the Speakeasy to give away to their friends. And
are we one of those?
And listen, we are.
Wait, holy shit!
We're a little different though, just slightly. Because every other creator was given a Speakeasy ticket to give away. We were given a VIP Speakeasy ticket to give away.
No.
Wow.
Oh, we were.
The free draft one?
The free draft one.
Holy mackerel.
So some motherfucker that listens to this show is going to get to roll in. I'll have my fur coat on and everything. Like, I will be in full mode for this shit. And get to roll in the dead of October in Columbus, Ohio, at the Levy, which is a sweet venue if you haven't looked at it yet.
The Levy is sweet.
It's fucking great. Did you get married there?
No.
No. Okay, well, fine. And
the canon, if you want to, like, yeah, you could be where Jordan and Abby got, but we'll pretend.
I was just going for it. And you can just do this all for free for $0, but we are probably going to make you jump through some hoops.
Yes.
We don't often get these opportunities to do something this cool for our listeners. And so because we don't necessarily get these opportunities, we got to make this one count. So I want to know from our listeners if what you'd be willing to do, not any kind of dirty or weird sense, but more along the lines of would you record yourself giving a reason as to why you deserve
hype video?
Yeah, would you record a hype video?
Oh, yeah. Here's what we should do. Okay. All right.
Good radio. Let's go.
Good radio. I want people to like talk to me about the type of party guests that they are. Give me a good hype video explaining why you're a dope party guest for our ticket. You can buy these. You don't have to be a good party guest. You can buy these. But like, if you're like an exceptionally cool party guest for some reason, or you have like a cool trick, or you have a cool story that you always tell that makes people laugh and giggle at parties, like TikTok length. I don't need a fucking YouTube video. Like TikTok length me, you know. But are you cool with that? That sounds kind of fun. Like,
I think we need to add on.
Okay. All right.
So I think
Jesus.
that
Sorry, guys. I tried to help.
I think what we need to do is I love that idea. I think we take that idea, but then I think we pick our 4 favorites, and then we take the top 4, and then we invite them onto the show, and we
throw
fire
a box cutter in the middle, and they fight for it. Like
we
Squid Game style.
fire interview questions at them, and based on the responses, we let the Discord vote.
Jesus.
How about some hoops?
This is a lot of hoops.
Listen,
We have
I'm
to have
all
this
for
done by the end of
this.
August.
I'm very,
No, it's end of September. I think it's end of September.
Oh, is it? Okay.
We got time.
I love this idea, but I do just want to be the responsible person in the room to remind you that we had to beg people to sign up to win free stuff for a fantasy draft. So I don't have any problem with what we want to do, but I just want everybody to keep that in mind, because I don't know that they're going to want to jump through all these hoops because they didn't want to fill out a Google sheet that took 4 seconds.
But if one person does, then they just get it.
Yeah, that's cool. I won a bodybuilding competition in college because I was the only person that entered. I'm not trolling you. Like, I did this like weight loss thing through like a bodybuilding website, like through animal.com. Was like, they sell the animal pack, and one of the things at the end was you could win a bunch of gear if you like did a bodybuilding routine and like send it in. And like there was like professional bodybuilders that were like in this competition, like a cut competition, and I'm the only one that sent in this routine, and like I won all of this free animal shit. So like I still have a gym bag and like a hoodie that has like my name on it and like t-shirts. I'm like just fucking Jordan's dumb college ass idiot self. Like so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now you know that. I will say, regardless of whether you're going to enter whatever the contest Logan devises for you or not, there is a cap on number of tickets sold. And because Keith is easy to work with, if you buy your ticket and then end up winning, we will just refund your ticket. Like you won't be on the hook for 2 tickets.
Right.
So just like when we give away the seat to the tournaments, pre-register, get your ticket. It covers, you have to be 21 or older,
right,
because it is like a bar area. And then the cost is basically the cost to cover like food and venue. Keith isn't making any money off of the speakeasy deal. Like obviously, like the guy's a madman. He just wants to do it so people like it. So it is like a break-even venture. So if you're like $100, what does that give me? They get you into the door. It gets you access to the $10 drafts that aren't in the VIP area, and it gets you like dinner and like the venue. And then you add the VIP if you want to get an open bar and then free drafts. But again, there are caps on those. There is a cap of 32 people for the speakeasy and a cap of 8 for the VIP, like 8 tickets that can be bought for the VIP.
Yeah. And those are in addition to the people who are already going to be there. So the 3 of us are, will be there. We are confirmed guests. I believe that Flake is also a confirmed guest. Tommy from Tommy Fresh from Fresh and Buds, I believe, is a confirmed guest. So there's going to be a lot of the content creators and people that you listen to on a regular basis, or people that you may not listen to on a regular basis, but we can vouch for being fucking awesome. So it is well worth your time at the very least to get in on this experience. No one's tried anything like this before because it's Keith and he does this shit. So this Brawl weekend is going to be one for the fucking ages.
Yes. And don't hear me wrong, the speakeasy is going to be dope, but like be at the event. We want this kind of stuff to grow, and you got to be there. This is a big event. There's a big payout in October. We're giving you 2 months.
Yeah.
More time than LSS gives you.
Yeah.
3 months,
be
really.
There.
Yeah, we'll be talking about this continually. Just fucking show up.
That's right.
Yeah, the cosplay contest actually has a cash prize. So like this is the first of this.
Can I tell you guys what, if I was crafty, what my cosplay would be? I told you.
Yes.
I say no right now. Our show gets canceled. So yes.
Yes, it's true.
Jesus Christ.
So the cosplay like category or whatever you want to call it is the heroes dressing up for Halloween. Is the thing. So my costume, if I was creative enough that I could put something together, would be Valda dressed up as Oldham. Is what I would go as.
Jesus, Carolina, get on it. My God.
So anybody that's good at that kind of stuff, if you want to make me that would be great.
That is fantastic. Like,
yeah, so that's what I would do.
Valda as Oldham.
Yep. And then prior to this event, we have SCG Con in Columbus Labor Day weekend, so what, a month out?
A month out. Hmm.
We will all be there.
Yeah, because we knew about this one prior to knowing about the Realm event. We all kind of just already made plans for this, and we'll all be there too. So you'll have a lot of bites at the apple.
If you're in the Central Ohio region, there is plenty of opportunities to like play cool events and see cool people.
Or if you're a dipshit from Iowa, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
If you just like 10-hour drives, because like why not? This event sucks though. This SCG Con Columbus for Flesh and Blood players.
Right, but
people will be there. Like I'm not going to not sell it, but I don't. Star City doesn't pay for an ad read, so it'd be cool if like there was a calling, but there's not. You could play in a $25 armory on Friday night.
I might do that.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what's going on. I could also see myself playing the armory at Teague store.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, like just the $5 one. Which would, I think by that point in the calendar, actually be classic constructed. So like there's that.
Could also just show up and go to Topgolf and
could also
drink a tower of beer.
That sounds great as well. There is no Flesh and Blood event on Saturday, like an official one. There is a Battle Hardened on Sunday. So that is kind of like a weird, like it's a big Magic weekend for SCG Con. I think Dominaria United releases that weekend.
Pre-release.
But you were coming for the vibes at this tournament, which there will be plenty. That being said, if you had to choose between SCG Con and the Realms thing, go to the Realms thing.
For sure.
The tournament will be more competitive. Yep. There's more money on the line. There's cooler shit going on. Yeah. So like, if you're like, oh, do I go to SCG Con or go to the Brawl?
You go to the Brawl weekend.
It's not even close, to be honest. Like,
that isn't to say that if you can swing both, because like I said, there's going to be quite a few people from the extended Flesh and Pod family that will be at SCG Con Columbus. Well, we'll be in Columbus. Fuck, I don't even know how much time we're going to spend in the venue, to be honest. But we, we're going to use that as our excuse to get together and drinks, food, general hangs, and joyous occasion. Probably fire some random drafts at a house somewhere. My Airbnb has a table that seats 8. What do you know? So yes, please. I mean, honestly, if I get to see everybody in September and then get to see everybody in September again at Nationals and then get to see everybody again in October at the Realm and then get to see everybody again in November at Worlds, that will like keep my heart full enough to not die of lingering regret. So please show up to keep my heart full. That is all I ask.
There you go. All right, we have 2 listener questions this week. The first one is from Fighting Walloon. My locals have a strong dislike for Blitz. Anytime someone suggests playing it, they talk about how bad it is and how CC is better. Just for variety, I think it would be good to play some Blitz at Armories. What arguments would you make to persuade dug-in CC players to give Blitz a fair chance?
I think that people that don't want to see Blitz as a skill format that matters will never see Blitz as a skill format that matters, unfortunately. Despite like pro players and calling champions saying that Blitz is a skill format that, while it doesn't matter on a national stage, it has decision points and you can win and lose games by being better or worse. It's faster. It's
way faster.
It's like more convenient for an armory. Like, ask Abby, the decks are smaller.
Like,
yeah, I don't know what you say to those people, because I honestly don't know if there is like a point. The people that are dug in and think like Blitz isn't real Flesh and Blood, I don't know what to tell you, to be honest. Like, Blitz is a skill based format just like any other one. It's just different, and I think that I use the bell curve analogy a lot here. The people that are like getting better at a game don't see Blitz as like a skill intensive thing, and because there is a higher variance when you have lower life totals, right? But I don't know. I don't know what you say to those people, because I don't feel like they want to hear your argument. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
around here we really focus on Blitz being casual and not, and so it lets you try weird shit. Whereas in CC, trying weird shit just doesn't seem as easy is the wrong word, but as convenient.
It's a waste of time almost.
Yeah, because it takes longer, and you don't know, like maybe you never, like maybe you put in 2 bizarre fucking cards. You always wondered how good they are in a pseudo competitive event. You put them in a CC deck, maybe you don't see them. You put them in a Blitz deck, you're probably going to see them. Yeah. So I think that's part of the appeal here. Like, and then around here, nobody takes Blitz seriously as a competitive format, but we love playing it at times. So again, I played Shiana Money Pile and went 1-2. Dagon White played Data Doll and went 0-3 or 1-3. I think he had a bye. Stuff like that, people are messing around with Valda and Icelander, and although Icelander's actually kind of good in Blitz, and stuff like that. They're having fun, doing weird shit, trying weird shit. The Bravo player was playing Snag just to try to fuck with the 5 people to see if that would do a thing. So it's more of a laboratory format for me. Like, let's see what things do what and have fun with it. And I don't know if that's going to appeal to your people, but it does appeal to ours. And we do have a definite subset of competitive people here that are good at the game. So it's not like we're sitting on, everybody's fairly casual, nobody travels to anything. That's not us. We do travel to things. We do have a national, U.S. national semifinalist in the room every night that we're playing. We do have people that buy decks, plan decks, test decks. I mean, we have that, but we also just understand that having fun is equally important to everything else.
So I guess, to I don't know, not amend my answer, because I do still think that because when you talk to people that are competitive that also play Blitz, they tend to rise to the top in Blitz as well over a long period of time. But I think you're right on something that it's okay to try to win something, but also not take it seriously at the end. And I think that's a really good point, that if your Armory community isn't like that, that's tough. Where people's wins and losses at the Armory level are ingrained in their identity. That is a very hard thing to overcome. And that's just a culture thing. It seems like a lot of the questions that we get about these it always comes down to culture. And I don't know if we ever start there. But it always does seem if it's hard to get these dug in CC players to give Blitz a fair shake because they talk about how bad it is or whatever, just separate how you do at Armories and what you do at Armories from your personality. And this is a card gamer problem in general, but we're more than our most recent tournament record, right? So I don't know what to tell you, but good luck. Thanks for the question.
sorry to not do well with that.
And then question number 2 is from Josh via email. They're coming in now.
Ooh, baby.
Well, this week was a 50-50 question versus criticism. So,
oh, good. As long as we can maintain that ratio.
That's right. Yeah. What are some of the go-to drinks for the heroes that do drink, and which heroes do you think would drink picklebacks in public?
None of them, because they're all respectable heroes.
That is incorrect.
No, it's Chain.
I have absolutely not. It's not Chain. It would be Dash and Lexi. They would both do picklebacks. Absolutely.
It's Chain. He's drinking picklebacks.
I do see Elaine as a Dash or a Lexi. So
those two absolutely would.
Young partiers that are fun, to keep the youth around forever. Look at the art on this round's on me.
Yeah.
Where, old him is trying to be old man in the corner, and Lexi and Dash are not letting that happen. That's Elaine. So and she does picklebacks.
Elaine and Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah. God, dragging my old ass around a bar. But Chain also would be but it's too spicy to do that shot. So
I need a pickleback.
I'm sad.
No, Chain would only drink IPAs.
No,
dude. No, yes. I don't think so. Chain's drinking 4 Loco Minis in his room by himself too,
while writing poetry about the rain.
4chan. Yeah.
Posting on 4chan. What a fucking ruthless second. Never mind.
Oh god.
I obviously Valda is in Bravo or in Oldham are just crushing giant beers the entire
Beers.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's-
Who's our whiskey neat hero?
Whiskey neat hero Cavdine.
Okay.
It's probably your bourbon hero. Kasai is probably
I was gonna,
your cheap whiskey grog
yep, that's what I was
hero.
going to say. Who else?
Dadadal is oil, so Corona.
Shiana is like a champagne, right?
Oh, absolutely. She's
Yes.
drinking either like a very fine champagne or like diving into a super expensive Cabernet or something. She's just her and Dromai are doing the same. Are chilling with those.
Is KO just doing like bear fights all
Yes,
night?
he is doing
Okay.
bear fights all night. For anybody that doesn't know, a bear fight is a car bomb followed by a Jaeger bomb.
Are you familiar with the adaptation a polar bear fight?
No.
It's a bear
my
fight, so a
God.
car bomb followed by a Jaeger bomb, followed by a shot of Rumpelmitz.
Oh, that sounds great.
A little winter spice.
Let's clean them up.
Yeah.
I think that there are like Fi's just doing shots. Whatever shot, Fi's just doing shots.
Yeah, what's in this doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
It's like
Toss
the
it.
person that finds a pill next to them on the public bus and just like,
And
yeah,
he's
whatever.
"Yeah,
Like,
well, okay.
Shrug your shoulders and let's
free
go.
drugs, let's go. Yeah.
Yep. Prism we already determined as a teetotaler.
Yes.
Bolton is going to be the have one with his men.
Yeah.
And then be done.
Is Guinness drinking like random like obscure booze from across the lands that like no one's ever heard of? Like he's like here's a 3 penis wine from like the league, you know?
I think it's that plus he is probably a brandy sherry drinker.
Okay.
That very
sure.
celebratory sort of sweet liquor. I don't know who the gin drinker is. My guess is Breyer is the gin drinker.
Oh, God, pine trees.
I love gin.
Yeah.
I
But
think my first drink was a gin and tonic, but
GNT? Yeah.
you know,
no,
yeah.
thank you.
I'm thinking that Breyer's the gin drinker.
who's just a rosé all day girl who's just like, you know what, I drink a box of rosé.
a box of rosé girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Slap
shit.
the bag, like, and that sounds like Dash. Slapping the bag sounds like
yeah.
Slap in the bag is.
It does sound like Dash. But Dash could also do the pickleback. Like I think that Dash just kind of covers some bases with how Dash goes. Reinar is drinking like grog, like straight up moonshine type shit, just smashing whatever was in the still.
oh my God.
He's the one that's drinking Natty Light, which is just basically the dregs of a Budweiser tank. Probably would also drink the diesel, but yeah.
If you're gonna drink Bud Lights, you might as well drink Bud Heavies, you know?
Oh, Kano is also in that drinking wine category, right?
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
just
Yeah.
he's gonna barley wines or whatever sometimes. And
All right, who's our marble or red smoker?
That's
This
gotta
is
be
really off.
it's gotta be Cavdane.
Yeah.
You have Cavdine as a reds?
I think so. I think he's smoking Marlboro Reds.
I had Valda as a red smoker.
No, Valda's cigars.
Okay, that's
Valda's
fair.
Valda's hitting fucking Cubanos and just pounding that shit and chewing on those.
What's the chain that we said was the Jar and Black smoker?
Yeah, that's Jaron Black's chain. Yeah. Yeah.
The crackling is like my soul.
Viscerai doesn't really drink, I don't think.
You don't know what the Jar and Blacks are? They're a clove cigarette, so they like crackle when they
they smell great. They taste kind of sweet.
Yeah, like it's like candy cigarettes, but that'll actually give you cancer.
Well, they'll actually put lesions on your lungs and make your lungs bleed.
Oh, because of the
you're
cloves?
you're not supposed to inhale them. It's the full stop.
Oh.
Yeah, don't do that. Some people do. I did. Not smart, but I stopped before I had lesions on my lungs. So
That's good. Yeah, hey, it's the little wins.
There you
yes, it's the small victories, right?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that was fun. I like fun questions.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordan, I did mean to ask.
Yes.
What was our final number for the signups?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We gotta
The
yell.
number of
checked
disappointment. I know there was at least two more because I got a
Disappointment.
Facebook messenger from a message from a listener saying, "Look, some of us don't have social media and are not on Discord, or don't have Twitter, are not on Discord. What the fuck do I need to do to sign up for this? Y'all are not very good at telling people who do not have those things and just listen to your podcast." I'm like, that is a valid criticism, and here is the link. And then one other person is like, was on Twitter, Farsis was just like, yeah, you shamed me into it. Fuck it. I'm sick of getting yelled
Yeah,
at.
I saw that one.
This
Perfect.
is the PT Fantasy Draft, right? Okay, yeah, there it is. We had 117, so we did have a little bit of a late bump. Good.
We got some shame in there.
13,
we shamed
13 of
some
you that
extra
felt
people.
bad enough. Good. For future reference, if you're not on the social medias or in the Discords, in the show notes for every show, like on your podcast app, there's the show notes section. There is a link for most things we talk about, and B, like links to like call to action things. So for example, in this show notes, there will be a link to the FaBTCG article on Stubby Hammerers. There's going to be a link to Fluke and Box's video on the store getting banned from running events. There's a link to where you can buy your entries and your speakeasy tickets for the Realms thing. There's also going to be a link to like the Patreon and all that kind of stuff. So if there is an action item, you can almost guarantee you see it in the show notes, but that is good feedback. And for people that didn't know that those were there they are. But I'm glad we bullied you.
Also, we do have an email address that you can just send an email to request that information. Additionally,
if you ever have questions,
if you do know any of us on additional varieties of social media, you're more than welcome to reach out.
Yeah. Or carrier pigeon, right?
Yes.
I a pigeon in my house.
You know the general area that we live in. I'm sure they could just find us.
That's how they work, right?
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
You just like whisper it into the pigeon's ear and it finds it across the continent.
That's how I read the like a raven in what the fuck?
Oh yeah, Abby is big on the birds not real conspiracy.
That is my favorite conspiracy. We'll talk about that another day. All right, so let's give a shout out to our Patreon subscribers. So executive producers and up, we have Taylor A, Ed M, Josh L, Kenny, Nick D, Ricky, Teague W, Ben M, Corey S, Alan B, and Michael B. If you are interested in signing up, you can go to patreon.com/fleshandpod and take a look at the tiers that we have. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FlushPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. You can shoot us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. My personal Twitter is at AbbyD83. I have tweeted more in the last month than I have lifetime. So,
respect.
Keep that up. I got a full 3 hours uninterrupted in the hammock this morning. It was great. And then it started raining. That was disappointing. Yeah, bummer. Awkward. Still don't have a possum, in case anyone was wondering. Nobody asks about it anymore.
I'll tell you what, if we get 100 people to subscribe at the $25 a month tier for the next, if a bunch of people do it, I'll consider it.
How many is a bunch? I know how to make a fake. So,
well, when I noticed that a bunch of money is coming out of our account to Patreon and our Patreon went up by a corresponding amount, I'll just kind of suss that one out.
But you also promised Abby a possum for every time you did a horrible New Zealand accent. You haven't fucking done that. 4. And
we're at a lot now.
You're basically an untrustworthy narrator at this point for what you say you're going to do.
Well,
remember earlier when I made a comment about lying and everybody looked at me like I was crazy? Here we go. Still don't have my possum.
All right. Well, okay. That's fair.
So, just didn't want anybody to forget that is still to come. So, keep posted. Logan?
You can find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson. Also very active in our Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. Correct, Jordan? Am I not
yes, our Discord, Patreon, all of that stuff is in the show notes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yep. So you can I have DMs open to anybody that shares a server with me. So if you're in our server, you can DM me if you want to just DM me. You can also interact with the variety of things that we have going on in there. There's usually a conversation that is happening at some points in time over the course of the last couple of weeks. The general chat has been blowing up with just theory crafting on a regular basis. So that'll probably keep going now that Hammerers is banned. You never know what's going to happen. But we are very active with our listeners, so that is probably the best place to reach us. Jordan?
Best place to find me, in addition to our Discord, is on Twitter at I'mJerman, where I tweet something and then forget how it looks to people that don't know what I'm talking about. And my tweet goes, Flesh and Blood viral, and it looks like I was making sex jokes, but I wasn't.
Yay.
So
You did offer to buy everybody a 3-way.
It got weird.
to be clear, a 3-way is a food item that you get from a restaurant called Skyline Chili, and a 3-way is a noodle. It's like spaghetti, chili, and cheese. So 3 items, 3-way.
Right, but you didn't contextualize the 3-way at all when you put that out there in the world.
Well, so the person that I tagged and I had talked about the 3-way before. We did. That was the rub.
Right, but let's not talk about the rub in the 3-way. But the tweet was, anybody that's coming to SCG Con Columbus, I will buy you a 3-way.
Yep.
And then it was except for at Bitchy Velour.
Right.
And then they were confused about that.
Yep.
Because they were kind of offended that they weren't getting a 3-way bought for them, I think. And then
listen, I'm already going to be out like $100 on 3-ways. I was going
to usually cost way more than that. Yeah, they usually cost way more.
Yeah, exactly. But if you want to follow me on Twitter for goofy shit, that's the place to find me. I'm tweeting a lot about Flesh and Blood, Formula One.
What the fuck happened with the tires?
Dude, Ferrari
it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Because like they were like running game on that race, and they switched tires for like no fucking reason, and then just drifted back
to the worst tires.
Yeah, they put them on like the worst tires. So for people that don't know Formula One, there's 3 different tire compounds you can use. The softs are you go the fastest, but they have they fall apart the easiest. They give you the best grip, and then the hards are like the worst grip, but they last like forever. They switched our guy that was like in position to win the race to hards. They're also the slowest tire, hards, but they last forever, so you only have to pit like once theoretically, right? They switched them to hards right before it rained, and so just of all of the decisions that they could have made, it's like, when you're doing a hard Flesh and Blood turn and you're like, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna pick a decision out of the hat and make an action because I have to.
Turn 1, burn away, banish this Phoenix Flame.
Exactly. That's the best turn 1 that Fi has. Dagan just screamed. No, so that's what Ferrari does with their race strategy, and they have a guy that can legitimately win the world championship in Charles Leclerc. They just are so dumb. That's actually why I picked them, is because they're a lot like the Cleveland Browns. Historically, one of the best teams to ever exist. Yep. Historically, one of the most. Scuderia Ferrari is one of the best racing teams of all time. Just like the Browns were the best, and then modernly, dumb decisions from top to bottom. So,
by modern you mean just post Jim Brown, which was 1960.
Yes. So Ferrari has a little more recent success than that, but not by much. So that, and then I'm doing a big sports card collecting project right now. You can follow along on there. That's fun. Epirixie is going to be
the update, baby.
Yeah, so I went to the Reds Hall of Fame on Wednesday. Wednesday, and the Reds, for people that don't know, have a very robust Hall of Fame. It's multiple levels. It's a lot like Green Bay's Hall of Fame. If you've ever been to the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame Museum,
Green Bay's is better.
I appreciate why a Green Bay fan would think that. I'm a Reds fan, right? So I think ours is better, but they're very similar quality. Very well done, very high level. Focused on the actual history of the team. They have a card collection archive of every card of every Reds player ever made, the bases or whatever. And so I found the Epirixie for him as a red. I don't know if they made if autograph cards were society cared about that in 1922 on because he played for the Philadelphia Phillies in 1922.
Mm-hmm.
So was his rookie year. I don't know if that was a thing that would have existed. And it definitely didn't exist in a graded 9.
You would have to find one
and then get it graded.
Yes.
That's just not going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. So actually one of the staff members at the Hall of Fame gave me the curator of the Reds Hall of Fame's email. When I told her what I was doing and I had questions, so I'm going to email this guy and see what he thinks. But I can find a PSA graded 4 that is unsigned for $400 on eBay.
Yep.
So a 9 graded,
Gonna be over $1,000.
it's going to be over easy over $1,000. But people that went into the hall when the Hall of Fame was made, that checks out. You know? So that's my Apple Watch. If you
The
care
Apple
about
Rixie watch.
yeah. I thought about reaching out to his family, but that seems super inappropriate.
I don't know. Like, they might get a kick out of it. You never know.
Yeah, like, hey, do you guys happen to have anything like signed by great grandpa? Like,
Eppa?
yeah, Eppa, Papa Eppa,
Papa.
Papa Eppa, Papa
Right.
lies.
Okay, that's enough.
Anyway.
Jesus.
All right, that is all that we have for you this week. So we will talk to you next week. Bye.